I'd like to call the Special Services Committee meeting to order at 7:28. First item on the agenda is approval of the August 17th, 2023 Special Services minutes.
So moved.
Second.
There being a motion and a second, any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 2 is our enrollment update. Dr. Bryant.
You should have received the update in your packet. I don't have any further information, but happy to take any questions.
Any questions or comments regarding enrollment? Okay, there being none, item 3, bus data, which is in our backup.
Yep, the same thing for the bus data. There was an issue with R11. That bus became overcrowded, and so we worked with the bus company to move some of the students from that bus to a different bus so that we could accommodate all of our students.
Any questions about the bus data?
No, I was trying to review the data of the classrooms. I'm just looking at across the board, and everyone's around like 13, 17, 18.
Are you on enrollment? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm on enrollment, I'm sorry.
Okay.
But then you go ahead and look at Chamberlain, it's multiple higher, multiple kids, not like even like a couple, like, say you look at East Rochester, it's 13, in third grade, McCollum's 13 in third grade, but then you look at Chamberlain, third grade is 20, 21, 19. Yeah, you just explain, like.
They absorbed Nancy Loud.
Yeah, they absorb them, but all of them?
Yeah, so
Yes.
and then we have the recommendations and policy about class size, so we keep students in zone until those class sizes are met, and then if we have to look at moving a student to a different school, that's when we will do that.
Okay.
But they're all within that recommended number.
Okay.
All right. Any questions regarding bus data? All right. Next item is 5-year plan. So for special services, we have the band and chorus area. We already discussed that in building, and the dollar amount in the building committee. And then the athletic study, that kind of pairs with us and building. And the third is the enrollment trends, the future enrollment, and looking at the city, the GIS. I think at some point soon we should take a look at the GIS mapping again to see if other developments have come online as being already starting construction, or if there's how many new applications have been approved since the last time we looked at it. So maybe if we could plan to have that data presented in November, we can look at it in November. Yeah.
So the only other thing in our parking lot, we probably could take off new band uniforms since it went through finance.
Yeah, that was just approved with the,
So I'm just taking off the parking lot.
Can you motion or?
No.
can you mark, not delete, just
Mark.
mark it as completed, and that was,
Consensus.
Yeah, that we'll just, that one, it's not into the top ones.
Right.
So those are the ones where motions have.
Okay.
So it's just an update on status.
thank you. Does anyone else have anything under 5-year?
No, but that's a good point, that we not delete things
Yeah.
because we accomplished them.
Right.
They should stay on the 5-year plan
Even the parking lot?
as completed.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Okay, the next item is public comment. Publicly communicating false statements about people that defame them could subject the speaker to both criminal and civil liability in the state of New Hampshire. In that vein, statements made at public input or at public hearings are not immune from potential consequences for their words. Furthermore, the fact that the public body does not prevent these statements from being made does not excuse or endorse those statements. It just means that the public body, in this case the school board, both recognizes and respects the right to free speech enshrined in the First Amendment to our Constitution. Anyone from the public wishing to address the committee, please come forward. state your name, address, and limit your comment to 5 minutes.
Do I need to sign again?
No, that's okay.
Thanks, Sarah.
Just put TD down.
Tabitha Davis, I am at 39 Old Milton Road in Rochester, New Hampshire. Special services. I'm here for myself and I'm also here for a couple of other parents. You all know I am a big advocate on kids with IEPs, 504, as I've had a couple of my kids that have graduated that has an IEP. I have one that does not have an IEP that's graduating this year, and one that does have an IEP that is in 7th grade. I understand that there is a shortage in the system. I get it. I'm trying really hard to adjust with the middle school. We are almost in October, and my son still has not gotten his services, and he has an IEP. I did speak with his caseworker today. He did not know that my son gets pulled out of class a couple times a week. He totally missed it in his IEP. It's kind of sad that me as a parent, I have to tell someone who goes to school what is in an IEP. So it's very discouraged. I am trying very hard to let things go for the school year, as I know that's obviously the shortage. But this is my kid's school. There was a paper that was sent home. I also received a paper. Parents want to know, it was sent home saying that when it's a remote, if a kid has a one-on-one, the paper states that it's a group, that they're going to be on video with a teacher and other students. How are they getting their services on remote days? Say if there's a remote day on Monday, and Monday they have speech, and it's one-on-one. How are they getting their one-on-one if the paper states that it's going to be group, not one-on-one? I'm not signing it because my son does have a one-on-one on something. I do have a meeting with the team next month, so I'm hoping we can get that situated. But for other parents in the district, how does that one-on-one affect with the group? Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public wishing to address the committee? There being none, I'll close public comment. Item 6, other. Ms. Stokes.
So I sent you a copy of the letter, and I just want to let everybody know that our Director of Student Services is coming next month. But the concern that I got from a couple parents that called is you have an individualized education plan. And if your plan states that you get one-on-one services with a speech or an OT, the letter that was sent out basically is saying during remote days, they're gonna bulk it in a group kind of session, which I understand to a certain, but you can't change the IEP without having a team decision. And I think that the concern would be if you don't follow the IEP, you're not following the law. So I just want to make sure that, I know we're meeting in a month, but this letter has already been sent out, and it's a concern for parents and myself. If my child were to get one-on-one services and you're sending me a letter saying I have to sign something that says it's group, that goes against the IEP and you really can't do it. It's an IEP team decision. So that letter is a blanket letter, which I'm concerned went out.
So are you asking for something, or are you just saying you're concerned about it? Just kidding.
Well, Sarah's coming next month, but because we're waiting a month, the letter was already
Okay.
sent out, and I wanted the board to be aware that this letter went out. I think it goes against an IEP,
So
which
are
is a
you
legal
asking to
binding.
talk about it at this meeting? I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah, I already emailed Sarah and asked her, but I think
Okay, I was just curious, because you
Yeah.
didn't say that that's what you wanted.
I think it's something the board needs to be aware of, which is why I sent it to the chair of the special services.
Yeah, I'll second that. I think that definitely needs to be addressed. I don't think we can ignore that.
Mr. Boyer?
And I know things happen, but the chair of special service, or not the chair, good Lord, too, director of special services, going forward is gonna be here at every meeting. I think we've made it clear in the past that the reason why we want the person here is because our climate, there's a lot going on in our city, so I just wanna make sure that that is happening.
Dr. Bright, do you have any
Sure, I
clarification?
can
that
offer,
you
I
can
think that
share?
our coordinator will be able to alleviate your concerns when she comes next month. I think she'll be able to speak more eloquently and clearly about the letter. In the meantime, parents are welcome to contact Sarah Camus directly, it's right there in the letter. She has not received any questions yet, but she's certainly open to any questions the parents have.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
does she know that there was some board members that are a little bit concerned with that letter?
I think that she knows that there was, I shared that there was a concern or a question about that, yeah.
Okay.
And then she plans to be here in October and she'll address it and share more information about it.
And I get that, I guess if you have some information that you think would alleviate some of that concern, are you not comfortable
No,
to share it
I
now?
think I don't wanna misspeak on her behalf. I know she's checked the letter with the state's comfortable with the wording in that letter. But I just don't wanna say something, I don't wanna misspeak on her behalf, so I would, she's coming next month, she'll be able to answer your questions. If parents have any questions, they're certainly welcome to contact her. I think her email address and maybe even her phone number is right in that letter, but at least the email
Definitely
address.
can email her.
So, yeah.
I thought she was coming this Thursday, that was the email that I received, was that she was coming this
October.
Thursday.
No, October. This is September. I said she'll be at the October meeting.
So I'm just reading the email. I received the inquiry from school board member Mrs. Stokes this evening. Will Mrs. Camus be at our special services committee meeting this Thursday to answer Mrs. Stokes' questions and provide more contact?
And then I gave you a follow-up response. I said that she'll be here in October to,
Oh, okay,
Because you asked, that sounds like you asked a question.
I asked the question.
okay.
If she would be here.
Yeah, I assumed that she's at every meeting, so I was trying to give her a heads up.
What we agreed to.
Yeah, is there a reason she's not here today?
She was unable to attend tonight, so she'll be here moving forward.
Shane?
Well, that paper that gets sent home, what if that's not signed? What's-
Yep, that's an option, they're not required to sign it, I do know that. Parents are, again, they would, I
So what's
believe
gonna
they would.
happen come remote day for their?
Sure, I believe if they don't have a signed letter and again, she'll speak, I think I'm just reiterating what she's going to say next month, but they would hold an IEP meeting and make it clear in the IEP what the plan is to make sure that those services are in place for the student. But it would be a team meeting.
I might have missed it, how come they're gonna be grouped in one during, how come they can't handle like they would normally have it? How come?
I think that's a question we have to
Okay.
ask next month.
So just to be clear, I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. If your child is absent or your child has remote services, you don't have to have a team meeting, they just have to make up those services at a later date. So if my son's not here during a certain speech day, or the speech person is absent, or there's a snow day, or whatever, you don't really have to have an IEP team, they just have to make up those
Yeah,
hours at a
and
later
again, I don't
date. Yeah.
wanna speak on her behalf, but I think the intent was to just make sure that we catch every child and make sure that we're providing what we need to for the child. So to try to make a plan in advance, if we know there could potentially be a remote day, and we can be proactive about making sure that we're providing those services for students. I think that's the intent, but again, I'm gonna leave
Yeah. No, understandable, thank you.
she's far more knowledgeable, so I think she'll be able to answer more clearly.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else under other? All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.